Okay, ripping that, and we've ended up with a piece of sheer gauze, 100% organic cotton that's 9 inches in length by 3 inches wide. So I'm just going to shake that over and start to do a double rolled hem at the bottom here, and then flip the whole thing over in half and get another double rolled hem. And then we'll just shake the whole thing out so that we can lay it flat and in half again. And we'll take a measurement now. We know that it's 3 inches wide, and as we can see, it's about 4 inches long. It's a good size. And we'll make a reusable tea bag. I'll sew along the top a hem stitch and down both sides a running stitch with 2 rows on each side. I've got this lovely linen thread from Neverend's Sewing Supply, and I'll put where to get it down in the description below. We're going to separate some of the threads here. I want to eventually end up with one single thread, but I'm going to take 2 off. And there's a secret behind doing this correctly, and it's getting an even tension between your left hand and your right hand, and just slowly twisting and pulling and not getting ahead of yourself, and it'll just slide right off. We now have the 2 threads separated from the larger piece. I'm just going to pull them apart. We have to be a little careful here, although these 2 will separate a lot more easily. And here we have some squiggly bits. I'll run them through some water and that'll straighten them out without a problem. And so now I'll just wrap these around my fingers with a little separation between my fingers so I can slide them off. And the nice thing about linen thread is it almost sticks to itself. It's kind of an interesting feature of it. So we'll just get that put away for later use. Put it in the plastic bag here. And now we're going to thread the needle. And one thing that I learned in the couture class was how to thread a needle more easily. And what you do is you bring the needle towards the thread. And so let's just watch this. There. We're going to hem the top of the tea bag. I'm just folding it over twice and creasing it. I'm going to put 1 stitch in just to hold it in place. And I'm going to knot the end of my thread. And I don't know why I knot it, because I don't actually pull it all the way through. Okay, so let's get rid of the little bit after the knot and put that over there so that it doesn't get on my clothing, and back to it. So we'll take the first stitch in, and we've got to watch them getting caught on all the other threads, so we'll just get them out of the way. There we go, out of the way. And there's one more there, a little one. We'll get that out of the way. Okay, so now we're ready. And I'm going to speed this up. It's just a hem stitch that I'm bringing across. You'll notice too that I've got a little knot on the linen thread, which is part and parcel of this type of thread. And I try to pull it out a little bit to no avail. But then I slide it down and I hide it in the hem So all is fine. Okay, we speed it up until we get to the end. And here we are at the end. There, we'll just smooth out the stitches nice. Okay, so now I want to figure out which side of the hem do I want to use. And I don't think that's quite as nice as this side. This side will give it a little bit of a textural element. Yeah, now my dyslexia shows when I try to put the wrong parts together, but I figure it out as per usual. There we go, yeah, do it that way. Okay, yep. And now we've got to fold down the top of the hem on this side, and we'll put one stitch in again to hold it. There we go, and pull the two ends together. And I want to stitch them together, but I don't want to put too many stitches in because we still have to get the drawstring through that hem. Now I need to bring the thread through into the right side, and I'll speed up this hem at the top again. Okay, threading the needle, pushing the needle onto the thread, making a knot, and this time we're going to use the knot. And there we go. Clip off the end, and I'm going to start at the far end and put 2 knots there to secure it. I'm going a little bit fast, and so I've created a knot before I wanted one. I'll take it away and fix that, bring it back, fixed. Okay, here we go. And we're getting ready now to do a running stitch down the needle and pulling the thread through, fixing it with my thumb, running stitches on the needle, pulling the thread back through, and then running my thumb along it so that it's nice and straight. And then I've got about 3 or 4 more stitches to do until I get to the end, and I'm going to slow the video down now because there's something interesting that happens at the end after I put the knots in at the last one. And I'm doubling up the thread now. I pull that down so that I've got double thread, so I've got a nice secure knot happening. And what do? I do 4 knots. I don't need 4 knots, but I do it. So here's the second one, and the third one. That would have been enough, but I do 1 more. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. I'm putting the butt end of the needle through the hem backwards. I'm going to pull it out with this doubled thread, and I'm going to use that loop to thread the drawstring through. And I'm going to use those 4 strands that I've got in the little plastic bag from before. Here we are. We're going a little fast. We're going to make a knot. We have to take it off screen so that we can fix it. Okay, we're fixed. And so threading the 4 strands into the loop, and then checking on the other side to get the thread that I can start to pull back once I get the butt end of that needle back into the hem. There it goes. And now pulling it all through, and the 4 strands are going to end up coming through. And now I've got the double thread and the 4 strands. So I'm going to cut the double thread because I think now I'm going to sew again down the same side just to make sure it's nice and secure and no tea will ever come out those sides. So again, a running stitch using a single thread along where the other line of stitches already has been sewn. Okay, I'm pulling it through, getting the fabric on the needle. It's a nice soft gauze, so it's easy to work with. And straightening it out again, and one more, and we're done. Down to the end. I don't even need to put a knot there because of how secure the threads all are, having been double sewn, but I will clip the end after I straighten it, and there we go. I've got one more side to sew.